Alrighty. Loaded. There we go. Hello, welcome in. It has been super hot today in here. So I wasn't streaming earlier because I wasn't wearing a shirt. Nobody wants to see that. Hey guys, welcome in. We are turning hard maple today. There we go. Gerald, hello. Mitz, how's it going? Welcome in, guys. G-Rod. Love it. Good. You're in Romania? So it's probably quite late there. It's about midnight? I am American, yes. Yep, I'm in Wisconsin. It's midnight and 15. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for me it's about 4:15 p.m. I really don't have any arms. Let me grab something. Alright. So this is what we're making. This needs to be sanded and balanced yet. You have to be very careful. That's why you see me, I'm supporting it with this hand. Because, yeah, it's, you know, it's 6 millimeters in the thin parts. Yeah, I've made a lot of these in my life. Alright, so we're starting out with hard maple. This is square stock. So I bought a board and I cut it down into these little pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this from a square into a circle. So we're going to make it into a cylinder. How many do you make per each you make? Today I think I've made about 30 of them. Hey Francesco, how's it going? And trust me, your English is way better than, you know, my Romanian. Oh, what profit do I make from each one? Well, if they come together as a one piece. You know, like this piece here, this is like $25. I want to say just the shaft itself is like $7 or $8 each. Yeah, it shows. You're doing really well. Hello, Wilson. Hey, Bill, we're making Turkish drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. Hey, A, how's it going? Right. I sell them on Etsy, and I have my own website as well. And I do some limited wholesaling, so some stores carry them. Yep. And sorry, I do not read Cyrillic. Sorry. And I also sell them at festivals. All right, I'll walk through the next one, exactly what we're doing. Have I made other things too? Yes, yes. If that's what you want to do with it, I'm perfectly fine with that. If you want to use it for a magic wand, I say go for it. Hey G, welcome in. Looks like you're bending when you press on it. Yeah, they're have a little flex to them. So when I'm making it, I'm supporting it quite a bit. I'm holding it to keep it from breaking or flexing on me. Mahendra, hello. Alright, so we're going to start out here with our roughing gouge. Hey, Lawrence. And we're going to make it from a square into a cylinder. So I have a specific diameter I need on the bottom. So I'm going to be using this wrench as a caliper. So as long as the wrench fits over, I know I'm on size. Now I'm going to make a taper to this black line here. So it's getting close, so we're going to switch from the roughing to a spindle gouge. So this is much flatter. It's not as aggressive, but it leaves a better finish. And then I have a smaller wrench for the front. So then we'll do a quick little sand here. Then I'm going to shut the lathe off while I'm backing this off so I can look at this to make sure it's running true. There's quite a bit of vibration in this one. If I slow it down. What do I do with the wood shavings? I burn them. I have a fireplace at home. So it's not straight. So we'll make a smaller shaft out of it. Yeah, this makes really good kindling. And the really fine dust I'm going to compress into bricks and burn them. Yeah, they're so thin that, yeah, you can just bend them. Now we're just burning in decorative lines between the beads. Oh yeah, the beads here, I use a beading tool. So it's just a little V shape that I set in there to make the beads. I could cut them by hand, I could use a skew, but it's just quicker. Now I'm adding some wax. Yeah, lathes are a lot of fun. This lathe is a Laguna 1216. So it's not a big one, it's not a small one, it's just right. It's a Goldilocks for me. So this lathe, I can turn a bowl that is 12 inches in diameter on the front here, and I got about 16 inches on the bed, although it's about, by the time you put the chuck on everything, it's about 12 inches. So this lathe gives me the ability to say, oh, I can't make that, my lathe isn't big enough. So I'm not turning ballisters. I'm not making baseball bats. It's just easier that way. Everything I make kind of falls into this size. I used to have a very, very, very small workshop. So I moved into a larger commercial space, so I technically could put a larger lathe in here, but... baseball bats, maple, ash are pretty typical. Where am I? Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to open something on my phone. No mucho trabajo. Poquito trabajo. Sorry, yo soy estúpido gringo. No hablo español. Hello, how's it going? I have never made a doorknob. An ash, yep. So yeah, you can also get maple baseball bats as well. There's maple right there. What is that we're using? We're using hard maple? Aloha! Hi Cynthia, how's it going? Yes, hard maple. Yep. And you know, ash would be a great wood to make the shafts out of as well, because it's got a little bit of flex to it, but it's got very, very large pores. A lot like red oak. We are making drop spindles. These are Turkish drop spindles for spinning yarn. So with the maple, it's all smooth, right? Now if I made it out of ash or red oak, the pores of the wood, think of the wood as a bunch of straws that are hollow. You know, it carries nutrients up and down throughout in the tree. Well, you could see them. So there'd be a whole bunch of little lines and dots all over it. Ash would be perfect. Around here we have the emerald ash borer, which is a bug that's killing all the ash trees. So you can get ash dirt cheap. But it's also killing every ash tree. Yeah. I mean, they're a little bit stronger than like a pencil, I would say. Kind of in the same realm. As long as you treat them okay, that's fine. If somebody sits on a project bag, I make replacements. I've never broken a shaft while using it. Hello, Christy. How's it going? Me too. Yeah. And, I make top whirls and low whirls as well. But yeah, today we're working on Turkish. I think I make more Turkish than anything else. The lathe is running at full speed, so it's running at 3,564 ripums. Can you see the complete lathe machine? Sure. So, like I said, it's the Laguna Revo 1216, so it's not a huge lathe. Well, it's relatively small, so I said I bought this because I had a very small workshop. I was working out of a bedroom. So I've moved into a commercial building now, so I have a little more space now. Hey, how's it going? And then there's like a full basement too, so, and I got a couple more rooms that way. Oh, absolutely. I was working out of a bedroom. It was 10 feet by 10 feet, I'll trade in 100 square feet for, I think it's 2,000. So. Oh, plus when I'm recording YouTube videos, so this is my main scroll saw. This is a Pegasus. But when I make videos, I'm using some Bauer tools in the corner here. So this is where I film a lot of the scroll saw videos on the channel. Originally, the two buildings were connected, but I'm not renting the other side, so that's screwed down for now. That's still pretty neat. Makes a good backdrop. Yeah, so this building was built in 1900. It used to be a small grocery store. So I'm in a little town in Wisconsin, and I'm in their old downtown. The railroad put in a switching station here, and that's why this town is here. So I'm like right by the train yard. This downtown, we still have a public library, and a bar, but. So yeah, I'm in Wisconsin. So yeah, the downtown really isn't active, but it's great for me. I mean, this is about 3/4 of a mile from my house. as long as you're not doing something huge, you know, the nice thing about using a wrench as a caliper is it doesn't change size on you. You know, you don't want a big wrench. You don't want a big wrench flying off on you, but. And really, it's just me and the girlfriend in the shop here. Oh, there's also a front room. We got a small retail area. And our packaging area is up front. Yeah. That one felt a little wonky when I was turning it. So that's going in the fireplace this fall. So there is a lot of internal stresses in wood. So they're not all going to turn out. Hey, Julie. So I have a couple magnets on my lathe, so this gets stored up top on a magnet. This other wrench is further down on a magnet. The wire that I burn the lines in with is on a magnet. My thing I use to test my whirls on a magnet. My pencil on a magnet. Yep, the marks correlate to the story stick here. So right now we're trying to do the black lines, which is the 8-inch shaft. Yep, we're making toothpicks for giants. So that one's running nice and smooth. Yeah, every day I re-put those lines in. It's probably time I clean it off and redo it. Now, you need to start out with a huge log to get your one toothpick. Yep, so we're making shafts for Turkish spindles for spinning yarn. Hey, Em, how's it going? Yeah, I was thinking, my Spanish is just horrible. I haven't had to talk to people in Spanish for, God, I'm trying to think, almost 20 years. It's gone. I'm lucky I remember Baño. Hey guys, welcome in. How much do they sell for? It depends on the spindle. My prices range from $20 and up. Most between 20 and 40. Unless they start working with some exotic woods, then they can get quite a bit more. So this is part of a spindle for spinning yarn. But it's one of those niche items. My prices didn't start out like that. This is my 11th year, so. Yeah, my channel is. I've been kind of focusing on like scroll saw videos. It's paste wax, and yeah, it's to protect the wood. Most of this is going to be. Most of these are going to be used to spin wool on, so it'll continually get a little bit of lanolin on it. I have used beeswax in the past, mixing beeswax with a little bit of mineral oil. Yeah, that's right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yay. Our Icelandic wholesale order is done. Yeah, as far as the blanks go, these I did make. I moved over to getting these hard maple dowels in. And what happened was I ordered them too late and I ran out. I made them like this for years. If I start out with the doweling, you know, they're pretty similar, but using the square stock makes a lot more wood chips. So, yeah, this is just rough. You know, I got a resaw blade on my bandsaw, and I just chunk them out. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, so this channel here is kind of on scroll saw videos. I'm going to do there's a few lathe videos as well, but it's like beginner to intermediate kind of projects. This is my day job. I figure since I'm working, you know, we can hang out. Oh, definitely. So I made some fire starters out of wax, candle wax, mixed with sawdust. Not really the chips, but the really fine dust. You throw one of those in those little Dixie cups, those little water cups that they used to have in bathrooms. You know, you throw that in there with a handful of this stuff, and yeah, you light it, you walk away, and your fire's going. Hey Mike, how's it going? Love the last name. Yeah, we're running full speed, so I'm running at 33,564 RPMs. I'm also a Snyder. Well, I'm glad you're here. The algorithm worked. Hello, Nico. Yeah, lathe stuff it's just fun. First time actually interacting in the chat. Awesome. So I've been making these full time for this is my 11th year. So I started in 2013 making these. I've been using the lathe since high school, and I graduated high school in 1993. So a few years. You build a hobby lathe? Nice. Oh yeah. Yeah, my lathe is a midi lathe, so it's kind of the little medium size. That's cool. It's like anything else. It takes practice and patience. It's easy to be too aggressive at times. So let's see. Best Nail Tech, you've been making 1-inch Cocobolo handles for your husband, and you want to make hair sticks, but it's very hard to get so thin and long. It is. And Cocobolo is not a forgiving wood. It's a gorgeous wood. It smells a little funny. But yeah, Cocobolo is not the easiest thing to turn. Well, it depends, Matthew, it depends on how big a project you want to make. You know, I'm happy with a little midi size, you know. But if you want to make big things, you need a big lathe. You know, this one has, you know, a 16-inch bed on it. So it's big enough to make things. Not baseball bats, but smaller things. Yeah. And I say for the first couple of years, the first year of wood turning, it's always the wood's fault. But after that, then you have to admit it's your fault. When you first start turning on a lathe, you're not learning turning, you're learning how to sharpen your tools. Thanks. Actually, let me go run, see if I got any Cocobolo. We could go check, see if I got some exotic woods cut. I cannot see the chat right now. For some reason, my phone just doesn't show the chat. Alright. We got walnut, we got Vera wood. We got some African Paduke, we got some zebra wood. I might not have any Cocobolo. I don't think I do. My mill hasn't had Cocobolo in quite some time. Yep. So I guess never mind. I tried. Any tiger wood? Sure. Bacote? Absolutely. Let's see. Got some leopard wood. Yeah, these are all Bacote. And then we got some Purple Heart, some Paduke, some Maple, Osage Orange. I started doing laminations, so you got Paduke and Tiger Maple, and Purple Heart and Tiger Maple. It's a bunch of stuff. Yep. Hello. Yeah, I came into some really nice Tiger Maple, where it's like corn cob, where it's really, really dense. got a big order. Well, I'm getting ready. I have 3 festivals this fall. Plus, I have. I just finished up. I don't think we have any outstanding wholesale orders. I got a couple inquiries. But yeah, just keeping the websites full and getting inventory to do those shows. I do not sell my patterns for drop spindles. Hey, Boho, how's it going? Right? You know, I used to write out a description and write a title for it and everything. But then, you know, if you're just doom scrolling, you never see that. So I figured that's probably better. Ever get splinters? Not very often. With the turning process, no. So 27 Maine. What kind of spindles do you normally make? That's got a little vibration. We'll make that into a 4 1/4. Some people find it very ASMR-y. It can. I think it's worse for people watching. Do you hear me say the same thing over and over again? You want to make crochet hooks? Nice. I don't think so, barely, but you know. This is my full-time job. I've been making them full-time since 2013. And these are for minis, so that's the smallest shaft I make. Hello! Relaxing mostly or stressful? Well, it's me and my my partner, my girl Vicky, and she does a lot. She does the accounting stuff, which is the most stress for me. And she does a lot of answering emails and stuff. So for me, it's pretty relaxing. But yeah, being self-employed can be very stressful. You know, I use a lot of exotic woods. You know, my maple here probably comes from Canada. So, yeah, very stressful with the U.S. economy and what's going on. But as far as the work goes, it's not too bad. So we are making drop spindle. So we're making these. They're used to spin yarn. After the shaft, I will spin a little yarn on one. How does that sound? That's all right. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Working with the machine is easy, but working with men is difficult. Hello, Brazil! I don't know any Portuguese, but I will say hello to your family. Hello. What's the hardest or trickiest job I've ever had? I don't even know, man. I used to make large wooden signs, and so you know the last name, you know, or the first names with an ampersand in the middle. So the hardest thing is dealing with people who are engaged. I think would probably be that. What is spinning yarn? It is taking fiber. You know, whether it be, you know, cotton or wool, and making it into yarn. So this is basically, this was what came before a spinning wheel. Yeah, I'm just going to grab a spindle that's not sanded or balanced, but you'll get the idea. Another thing, hard dealing with the public. It can be. Alpaca's lovely. I have an issue with llama. A lot of times llama is just too much like human hair. It's a tactile thing for me. I don't like it, but yeah. I like alpaca. Yeah, and you get a nice big long staple length with that too. Just makes it a little bit easier. Actually, I think I'll grab a sanded one. What are you going to do with the wool? There you go. Send it to a mill, and then you can make dryer balls. Lots and lots of dryer balls. Hello, South Africa. You do metal spin casting, creating exclusive shoe trims. Very nice. All right, let me grab one and I'll show you the spinning. Give me a second. All right, I am back. Let's see what I missed. You live on the East Coast of the U.S., so one of those things that not many people can deal with around me. Yeah, it would be winter. The camera will be nice to me. There we go. So this is wool. This is Corriedale. It's obviously been dyed. I try. So if you look on the bottom here, it's kind of hard to see. This is laminated Purple Heart Maple, and then there's Paducah in the middle. It's kind of hard to see, but it says Snyder. That's my brand name. It's my last name. And then Purple Heart Maple and Paducah. And then the weight of the spindle is on the bottom. So I'm going to spin a little leader to get to the top of the spindle. Do the do. All right. Freezing cold. I think we have a different scale of cold. All right, so I'm spinning the spindle, and then with my hands I'm drafting. So I'm defining the thickness of the yarn and how much twist is going into the yarn. So you spin a length, and then you store it on the spindle. So I'm doing a pattern. I'm going over 2 arms, under 1. So I'm repeating that pattern. So I'm putting 2/3 of the yarn on top, 1/3 on the bottom. Come up. We are making yarn. What should you get for dinner? Oh, I don't know, man. Phone it in. Just get some burgers. And then you just keep repeating that. And, well, I'll show you this too. So this is a single. So most of the time you want cabled yarn, you want plied yarn. So I'm just going to make a crochet loop. I'm going to spin it the opposite direction. I'm going to take those 3 pieces and ply them together. And then you have a plied yarn. So the next step would be to wash this, let it dry, and then it would be ready to knit, crochet, weave, whatever you want to do with it. Ooh, tacos. And here's one that I have been spinning on to give you an idea about the size of the ball. So the Turkish spindles you take apart, the arms come apart, and you can take the ball off of them, which makes it really convenient for plying. All right, let's make some sawdust. And it takes a little while to get the hang of it, but once you get the hang of it, it is zen. It's just relaxing. And when you're done, you have yarn. And it's compact and small. Do I have a shop on Etsy? Yes, I do. It is Snyder Spindles. Correct. I just did a chain ply. Yep. Absolutely. So I do make some 3D printed ones that are less expensive, but they have wooden shafts on them. Bunch of Turkish, Scottish, 45 top whirl, inlaid ones. Are you staying here or are you going home? Going home? Okay. Do I get orders from India? I have not gotten many. I don't get many from India, South America, China. I get a lot from Europe. Obviously, America. I'm big in Australia, Japan. Of course, my international sales have pretty much plummeted. Aw. Glad you like it. I think the biggest issue with like South America is product goes through too many hands on the way. A lot of times if you send things to South America, they never get there. What type of lathe do I have? This is a Laguna. It's a Laguna Revo 1216. Have a great night. Yes, they are. The crescent shape ones are pretty typical. Yeah, the glider's the shape is mine. Yeah, the big issue with Japan is with Etsy, they want the mailing address in English. So they get to Japan and then they're like, oh, where the hell is this? Hello, New Zealand. If I sat down and made one, I do a lot of batch work. If I did one, it'd be probably about 20 minutes of work. Me and my girlfriend both make these. So she does a lot of the layout work and she does specific things. Like she drills specific holes for me and puts a pattern together for me. So... So New Zealand has two very prominent tool makers, fiber tool makers, spinning wheel makers, spindle makers. So there's Ashford, and there is Modjacraft. Lots of what I've learned, I learned by watching others, and I still mess up sometimes. I mess up all the time. I burn it. All the wood chips get burned. The sawdust, I either make fire starters out of, or I'm working on making into blocks to burn in the wintertime. In the past, I've made mulch out of it. Hello. And how is Charles today? Hey, Richard. I was afraid this was going to happen. I didn't start live streaming till 4 p.m. here, and normally we're out of here at 5. But I feel like I haven't gotten a lot done today. It's kind of hot today. Hello, Geronimo. So I knew I was going to get on a roll, and so I think the girlfriend left. She went home. So when I'm done streaming, I have to walk home. Oh, man. I'm kidding. I need to get my steps in anyway. Thank you. Have a good night. You can use them as wands. Leviosa. Yeah, but they don't work. Or I'm not a wizard, Harry. So I hope everybody's having a lovely night tonight. Looks like a lot of people are from Brazil here. Yeah. Who would have guessed? It's not like we're having a big festival. We're a festival. Hey, Klinger, how's it going? So if you're just tuning in, we are making drop spindles for spinning yarn. These are cross-armed or Turkish style. Ontario. Hey, Richard. The heat is gone and the rain is... Yeah, we had showers here too in Wisconsin. It knocked the temperature down to like, I think it was, according to my watch, it was like in the 60s. But yeah, we jumped right back up into 79. I did run outside and splooshed around in the rain though. Hello, Alberta. Alberta, isn't that the home of Oh, what the hell is it? It's oh, I'm having a brain fart. Gary Lee in the showdown, right? Hello, Germany. I'm still stuck on the rodeo song. Yeah, Gary Lee in the showdown. You can have our snow. Unfortunately, it's summer here, so not a lot of snow going on. I went to college in Upper Michigan in the Keweenaw Peninsula, so it's surrounded by Lake Superior. Oh my God, talk about snow. It was all lake effect. Oh my goodness gracious. I appreciate it. Oh, speaking of Canada, did you hear Rick Moranis is acting again? He's coming back. He's making the sequel to Spaceballs. I'm going to be let down because it's not coming out for another year, and I'm all excited already. Put a little extra mustard on this one. It's not quite square. I blame the guy who made it, and that would be me. Hello, how's it going? Welcome in. Infinity. As many as possible. Probably got 30 done today. I'll probably get another 15, 20 done. Hey CS, how's it going? All you have to do is this. Put your finger on the screen and go like that. It's magical. Hey TB, how's it going? So before I started live streaming, I watched Firefly. Actually, I watched Serenity, the Firefly movie. Man, that's one of my favorites. It's paste wax. I have used beeswax in the past. Where I've taken beeswax and I have melted it with a little mineral oils to get it a little bit creamier. It works well. This is just a little bit more available, I guess. You know, I'm glad they made a movie. Serenity's an awesome movie. But did they have to kill 3 of the main characters off? Disney bought the rights to that like a year ago. So, got my fingers crossed, but I doubt it. You know, if there's somebody you don't like, tell them about this awesome TV show called Firefly. They'll watch the one season and be like, what the hell? It's a space cowboy. Yeah, so Nathan Fillion on Castle. There's a Halloween episode where he's dressed up like his character from Firefly. What are you? Space cowboy. Yeah, we're just gonna make this one into a 7-inch. Oh, you're gonna hate me because you're gonna love it. And you'll have no more. I'm a leaf on the wind. Watch me soar. Right? Here, enjoy. Do you like science fiction? Do you like westerns? there's a 7-inch. So I make a 4 1/4 inch, a 6-inch, a 7-inch, an 8-inch, and then a 10-inch. So besides the 10-inch, all of those have a 1/4 inch hole. Where the 10-inch one is bigger, it gets a 3/8 inch hole. So I'm trying to make 8-inch, but if anything goes wrong, I can make it into a shorter one. I don't know. He's got a really pretty hat. He's a lone Baldwin, not related to the other Baldwins. I don't know. He's pretty good on chalk, too. Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm having a brain fart. Can't think of his name. The minister guy. His storyline was just waiting to start because he knew a lot of stuff he should not have known about. Yeah, they sure did. Oh, she's nuts. Oh, she's a superhero. You know, and don't my fingers get hot when I push, pull, shave? Not really. I mean, I'm not holding, I'm just kind of pressing down on it. Plus, I have the power of neuropathy, so. Yes. The shepherd. Yeah, have a good one. You know, the wire does get hot, but it dissipates, so as long as I don't touch right where it was, it's all right. Yeah, and with the burnishing, I'm really not touching it. You know, I'm touching the wood chips. Yeah. All you need to do is get the diabetes, and then you're good. That seems about right. With the vertical video, you know, there's a lot of people scrolling. So. AB, I'm sorry about that. My content tried to pull out, you know, but withdrawal doesn't work. Not a problem. The secret is don't eat a vegetable for your entire life. We are making drop spindles. We're making Turkish drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. Tip, I promise. Yep. You work with it too, just not so fine. That's the nice thing about woodworking is there's so much different things you can do, you know. Yeah, these are little fiddly things to make. But I really can't complain. I have a fan on me. I've got my hearing protection on and it has music going. Normally stools, benches, cabinets. Nice. Yeah, I tend to make a lot of little things. It took some time to get the process down where I'm not breaking a lot of them. There's been a lot of time put into figuring how much pressure I can use without snapping them. Go. There we go. So the bottom gets sanded out and wax gets put on in the next step. All right, so this is one that wasn't straight, but yeah, they got quite a bit of flex to them before they break. Now you can see how straight grained it was. Because it took that, you know, that much to break. Let's see. Your other work is gardening and being an arborist. Very cool. Yeah. My fear of heights keeps me out of trees. So these are for making yarn. Hello, Antonio. How's it going? So you take fiber, this is wool, and I've spun it into yarn. Yeah. Yeah, maple's pretty flexible. It's not as flexible as ash. Hey, Jay. Nothing much. Making a mess. I do sell them. This is my full-time job. Yeah, the whole making it with Scott channel is more about scroll saw and lathe projects for beginner to intermediate. But the live streams tend to be when I'm doing my day job kind of stuff. So the reason I don't use ash is just because the pores are so big. You know, it's like turning red oak. You know, the pores are so big that you see visible lines and dots all over the place. What kind of live center am I using? I believe this is one that came with my Rycon lathe. It's nothing fancy. Yeah, originally... back it out. So originally this had a cone that came out, but over the last, decade, I've worn it down to nothing. Yeah, it's pretty pointed. I've got the classic big one too. I think most people own this one. Have I ever thought about epoxy impregnated? Yeah, I have, but it would be more of the whirl, not the shafts. That one as well. And that one. I'm sure I've got some other ones laying around too. But it seems like this one, I think everybody and their brother has. Found a couple more. Yeah, stabilization. Well, I don't have a vacuum chamber, for one. Yeah, honestly, not a lot of these break. When I sell replacement shafts, it tends to be somebody sat on a project bag or something bad happened to it, where it wouldn't matter what material it was made out of. Hello, Oscar. Yeah, this thing has seen fire and rain. Hello. No worries. Words elude me as well. So our building does not have air conditioning, but we have like 12-foot tall ceilings, which helps a lot. It's actually paste wax. It's paste wax that's been sitting out a little while, so it's not too pasty right now. So that's why it's in a little tin, so I can close it so it doesn't get too hard on me. Spindle turning is fun. You know, and I have to say it. You know, I've been doing this, you know, full time for over a decade, and I don't want you guys to think that you can just quit your job and buy a lathe and just start doing this and make a living off it. It's a very niche product. You know, I've built up a reputation for myself over many, many years. Put a little mineral in it, knead it in. Actually, for this, having it a little bit dry is actually perfect. You don't need all that solvent. Hey, boy, how's it going? You could. I do have a shop on Etsy. On Etsy or on my website, it's Snyder Spindles. And we have a whole bunch of really pretty ones. Takes a lot of time to build up a following. Sure does. You know, I used to, if it gets way too dry, to relive it. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the tip. Thank you so much, John. All right. You know, I started out making craft stuff. Like little scroll saw signs and toys and that kind of stuff. And I kind of fell into this, and then I just fell in love with spinning. I learned how to spin. It was just my thing. Yeah, I used to make magic wands. Way back in the day. Yeah. If you're gonna make spindles, you gotta spin. Otherwise, there's no real way of, you know, designing something that's gonna work well. It's a wire, but yeah, yep, just putting a friction line in there. So this is picture frame hanging wire. So the picture frame hanging wire is like, I don't know, 12 or 14 individual strands. So I unwind it, and this is 2 strands that I apply together to give me the right size thickness. I know a lot of people use guitar strings, which is great. I just have a whole bunch of this wire, so I have it, so I'm going to use it. Yeah. The balancing is the one thing I don't show. It's kind of like the secret sauce. Yes, it is a garrote. Right? Yeah, I have a whole jig made up for top whirls. I don't have any finished top whirls over here. Yeah. Here's something that's roughed out. Be a hook on the top. This one gets a insert in it. But yeah, as far as balancing them goes, I have a whole thing that I mount on there to find out where it needs weight. It's got to be a secret. It took me years to come up with it. I mean, but if you understand how a tire balancer works, it shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't change size. A lot of times with the calipers, like this style here, if you touch the wood, it's going to vibrate a little bit. And eventually over time, it's just going to start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So you don't have to recalibrate it. You just grab a wrench and away you go. With top whirls, pretty much. These, not so much. Actually, I do have a couple top whirls I need to make. Maybe I'll do that next. Yeah, let's get a couple of them done. There we go. Yeah. Don't know what he says. So these are the least expensive ones I make. These are 3D printed. And the shafts are made out of birch. So here's the whirl. So I actually have socket head cap screws embedded to give it more weight. So it brings the weight to the outside, so it spins longer. So the live center here, I made a 3/8 inch hole in it, so the shaft sits inside of it. So these get a hook. So I'm just drilling a hole in the center here. And like I said, this is my a no frills top whirl. All right. I gotta switch songs, man. Ugh. Hello, Pyro. How's it going? Hello, Rolling Stone. How's it going? That's a cup hook. Where am I now? I'm in my workshop in Wisconsin, in America. We are making drop spindles that are used for spinning yarn. and this one weighs about 1.5 ounces. So it's a nice beginner size. And since it's got a 3D printed whirl, I can keep the price down on it. And then we have the cake is a lie. It's a nice aperture industry. Hello, how's it going, Ehab? I did say the cake is a lie. So that's from the game Portal. And the game Portal, like, the evil company is Aperture Industries, and their logo is this aperture. Alright, uno momento. Yo soy stupido gringo. So I'm looking up what Raul's saying. Okay, so Raul asked, about killing children and shit. I mean, no. No. We're making drop spindles today. We're not talking about... Ay, caramba. Tonight in Egypt? Yeah, probably what, about the 2 a.m.? 1 a.m.? I'm good. It's 6 p.m. here. It's good to see we got Bart Simpson in the house. $2 a.m. Nice. That's true. Purple monkey dishwasher. We'll get them for that purple monkey dishwasher comment. Gummy Venus de Milo. Something about old school Simpsons. Back when Conan O'Brien was a writer for them. Like the monorail episode. When Homer was, working on the monorail. And, I don't remember what was in the monorail, whether it was raccoons or possums. I don't remember. I think it was opossums. And he's like, I call the big one Bitey. It's great. Yeah, possums. Which is ironic because possums don't bite, but that's all right. If that's your hobby, Harry, go for it. Just gonna run a broom down here real quick. I'm getting much taller than I need to be. I think acting dead would be more of a acting dead and stinking. They have a lot. They have so many teeth. I am using a Laguna Revo 1216, so I'm using their midi size. I am spinning a yarn, aren't I? Good one, Juan. Yeah. So this medium-sized lathe is perfect for what I do. I said earlier in the stream that I used to have a very small workspace. I was working out of a 10 by 10 bedroom. Yeah, they are a little bit pricey. You know, I started out on, the green Central Machinery lathes from Harbor Freight. Actually, the new Bauer ones look pretty nice. Old jet design. You know, the motor gets hella hot on that. But they work. We are making drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. Multiple yarns. Hello, how's it going? Well, there goes that piece of sandpaper. I got it. Nope, I lost it. I do have a piece of chicken wire that I can put in there to keep the sandpaper from getting sucked all the way through, but hold on. Got it. Separated. Thank you. All right, let's see how it looks. Ooh, nice and straight. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. It was either do this or put together sets of Legos. But then I'd have to go over on Twitch. Hello, Pedro. Yes, this is paste wax. And wood chips. So I think tomorrow I'm going to be turning a bunch of exotic wood shafts. I'm waiting on a delivery for my normal blanks. Hopefully it'll be here one of these days. Normally they're here within a week and a half. We waited a week, we called them, and they're like, oh yeah, we're still 2 weeks out. So now I'm kind of like, oof. I've got plenty made for now, but it's like, oof. What am I going to do? I could go to the mill and buy a piece of 8/4 inch hard maple and cut it into these. Yeah, they're very cylindrical, very pencil-shaped. Oh, that's not very nice. I had a little bit of Osage orange that I turned today. So yeah, this is Osage, both parts. Osage turns nice. Would that be before or after I got my dick stuck in there? Actually, woolly mammoth tusk is legal to have in America. Yeah, I like Osage orange. My mill doesn't always have it. And it's so funny because you get down into Texas and, you know, it's just one of those trees that people hate. Yeah, there's a person, his name's Jonathan Bosworth. He actually makes top whirl drop spindles out of woolly mammoth tusks. All right, so according to the internet, New York, New Jersey, Hawaii, and California have banned any sales of mammoth ivory, but It's not illegal everywhere. Yeah, I like yeah, curly maple. I use quite a bit of tiger maple. I love it. All right, so here's one of my spindles. This is roving. This is wool. So a sheep got a haircut, then they washed it, they carded it so all the hairs are in the same directions, and they've dyed it. So we put it on the spindle. Yeah, it's not like they're killing the animal to steal it. It's not like elephant ivory. So you spin the spindle, then with my hands I was drafting. I was defining the thickness and how much twist was going into the yarn. So you spin a length and then you store it on the spindle. And you just keep repeating. I flew a little bit too close to the sun there. There we go. Hey, not a problem. I prefer Turkish spindles, which are a bottom whirl. It's just my personal preference. I make a lot of top whirls as well. I make supported spindles. I make Russians. I make Scottish. But yeah, if I was stuck on an island and only had one spindle, it would be a Turkish. But I also make Turkish spindles, so don't take my word for it. Yeah, there's a bunch of different spindles. Yeah, Turkish. But if I'm spinning cotton, I'd be using a supported spindle. Who, me? Well, I am doing Ote. Yeah, so this, it's a story stick. So it's got, numbers on it, but you don't even need the numbers. It just has lines. So you transfer that over so you don't have to measure. You just transfer it over. And then when you start making multiples, you know, they're going to be the same size. Hello. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. We are making Turkish drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. So, a very important post-apocalyptic life skill. Yeah, I have a few of them. That's not all of them. Well, you know, this one is for 7 and 8 inch. I do have 6 on here, but that's for my 6. That's for my 4 1/4. So. The flat wands won't help anyone. Maybe in Paper Mario. How many do I make a week? It depends. I try to, on an average day when I'm not working towards, you know, a wholesale order, or I don't need more for the website or whatever. I usually make about 12 a day. But that's 12, you know, 12 shafts, 12 arms, 12 sanding, 12 finishing, 12 laser engraving, you know. So 12 times 5, you know. That's 70. But it varies depending on what I'm making. I mean, I can make about 40 shafts a day before my head explodes. That's true. You are correct, sir. I never said I was a mathematician. Hey, Jesus! Un momento. So he asked why I'm not wearing any protection. So let's see. Flip this out into Spanish. Basically, gloves are dangerous. Can get caught in spinning parts. So I am wearing eye protection. I am wearing hearing protection. I'm not wearing any loose clothing. I don't have any sleeves. I'm not wearing a necktie. Now, eye protection is important. If I'm turning something larger, I will wear a face mask to protect my face. Have I ever used a shopsmith? I have not. But yeah, shopsmiths have quite a following. It's the all-in-one Swiss Army knife tool. What I use for the base. So at the base of the spindle, the arms. There you go. I don't know, you'd have to ask your mom. It's been a long day. Shopsmith is a brand name. What they did was they made a machine, kind of like a universal weight machine, where it's a table saw, but you can take the table saw apart and bend it over and use the motor for a drill press. And then you take that motor and you can convert it into a lathe. So it's kind of like an all-in-one machine. Thank you, Jesus. So you could buy one system of machine rather than buying individual pieces. Oh yeah. Well, you have to look at the time they were made too. What was the life? Were they from the 50s to the 70s? Where hobby woodworking was a huge thing, and they wanted to make the most versatile equipment you could buy, and a lot of times, like radial arm saws. How the instruction manuals told you how you could cut full sheets of plywood with them and stuff. It's just crazy. Having a spinning saw blade like chest level. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, the nice thing about teaching on a drop spindle, the cost for one. But another thing is you don't have the treadle, you don't have the wheel pulling. So you're more control of the twist. And being able to park and draft starting out is just amazing. Yeah, I find it's much harder to teach on a wheel, beginners. I mean, I think parking and drafting is the best way to teach. Yeah, I'm not sure either. For me, it reminds me of growing up. You know, my grandfather was a woodworker. Yeah. It slices, it dices. Yeah, they definitely have a cult following. So I'm measuring. I'm using the wrench as a caliper. So if the wrench slips over the wood that I'm turning, I know I'm on size. They're still in production? I was not aware of that. Yeah, I did not come up with that idea. Or the story stick. I didn't come up with that either. But what I did come up with is this is my test whirl, so it puts in the location where this is going to lock in. So by doing this and having this cutout here, they will all sit in the same location. So if somebody has a shaft that breaks, their next shaft will feel the same. Because we're not making one of something, we're making a whole bunch of them. Oh, that must be fun. So when you do a fourth grade class, do one or two kids kind of figure it out and just start drafting? You must not have seen the Indian guy making table legs and legs sitting down. Death defying. Yeah. Yeah, if I was in India, I would be sitting on the ground with a very small lathe, and I would be using my toes to support the wood. Yeah. It's a different world. We are making drop spindles for spinning yarn. Yeah, I watch quite a few woodworking videos from, all over the world, and some of the machines, oh my god. You can tell OSHA is not a thing everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, I saw some guy, he was, cutting down logs into lumber with a chainsaw, and he only had one arm, and he had like a sling hooked up to the saw. I'm like, oh my god. Well, I guess you'll never cut off your arm again. Alright, this one has too much vibration in. Ooh, look at that. That's not what you want. So this one will go in my fireplace this winter. That's very, very true. And then you're jealous of the axolotl or lizards that can grow their tails back. You know, I worked in factories for almost 20 years. I've seen people lose digits. I mean, it happens. It shouldn't happen. So why did the last piece seem wobbly? It was. All right, let me catch up here. Sandra said you pair them. One holds the spindle and the other drafts, while the other holds. That's a good way to do it. Definitely. There's a lot of internal stresses in wood that you can't see. You know, I didn't do anything different than any other ones, but sometimes they just don't turn out. So, Nikki, saw a study recently that scientists have isolated new axolotl growth to grow their limbs back. Maybe it'll come to us someday. That'd be nice. You saw a fella deglove his finger in a shop if you work in? Yeah, I don't wear rings. I've never worn rings. It's not worth it. I've seen people deglove. I've seen people have their fingers amputated. I got to play the fun game of let's look for a finger. Yeah. Yeah, that one's a little wobbly too. So a lot of these, you know, these are coming from the same board. So the last two, they were together, so they might have been, you know, sitting next to each and have the same issue. And the big thing with factory work is, you know, new employees tend not to get injured in machines because they have a fear of them. And the issue is if you bypass a guard to, you know, make an adjustment or whatever, you could get away with it 1,000 times, but it's the 1,001st time that's going to bite you in the ass. So out of 100, how many turn out like that? It varies quite a bit. It depends on the wood. Like today, I had, like 3 that were kind of out of 30 or 40. Sometimes I'll go a whole day without having any bad, and sometimes I'll come into a big batch. So... normally, it'd be a few, maybe 4 or 5 out of 100. But if I get into a bad piece of wood, it might be way more. We'll check on this one. Yeah, that one's good. We're making shafts for Turkish spindles that are used to spin yarn. But if you want to use them as chopsticks or hair sticks or magic wands, I'm not gonna stop you. So now we're just burnishing with some wood chips. Think of it like a friction polish. It just makes them really, really smooth. So I just added some paste wax. Alrighty. Yeah, so these blanks I made probably about a year ago. Normally I use doweling these days just because I'd make less of a mess with that. So I'm waiting on a shipment. They hit me with a 3-week lead time. Usually it's about a week. So I'm like, oh boy. So I'm going through all my my bins and wood and everything and trying to find any wood I have stored away. Alright guys, we have 2 more to make, and then I'm going to call it a stream. I need to clean up and then walk home. Actually, I'll be back in 1 second. I thought I was doing pretty good. Hello, Mustang. How's it going? I thought I could make it to the end of the stream, but all of a sudden I felt like Forrest Gump after he drank all them Dr. Peppers. ton of chips flying, yeah. Especially if you're working with like green wood, he gets pretty impressive streams of ribbons of wood flying across and a ton of water. Hey, Harris. Yeah, but it's hard to find toothpicks this big. And normally if you're going to make a toothpick, you got to start out with a big log and then taper down to one toothpick. Oh no, that was a sarcastic reference. We'll get through this one. And then I'll make one more thing. I'll have to switch out the tool rest. Alright, so we're going to switch out the tool rest. So I'm going to switch out the whole tool rest and banjo. That way I don't have to adjust the height all the time. Alright, what do we got here? All right. Now that's a toothpick. You are correct. If I didn't break it. There you go. Your very own artisanal toothpick. Alright guys, well, I'm going to get going. I need to clean up and then I need to get walking home. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I got some stuff done today. Let's go shut off the exhaust. Even though I'm going to have to turn it back on. When I sweep, but that's alright. The bag is getting full. Toothpick for a horse. I don't know. Something to chew on. Alright guys, have a great day, and we'll catch you next time.